Well, better late than never, huh, folks? Yeah, I had a couple of things I was trying to wrap up before I did the show, and of course, things always take longer than I imagined they would. But I am here, and I'm sure any moment now you folks will be pouring into the show, just pouring in like the rains of Ratchapur. And we have a winner. Tug is here. Tug says, "Hi." My brother says hello. Thank goodness for speech therapy. Zupalik says, "Good evening," and a good evening to you as well, by the way. My flock is everywhere says, "Hi, everyone." Sarah, so glad you could make it. Thank you for stopping in tonight. Please stay. We have a trivia game coming up in a little bit. Lance Chapin says, "Hiya, Thrash." Lance, hiya to you too. Oh, by the way, I had to do this one cold open, by the way. If you guys could give me some feedback on the sound and picture quality, I'd really appreciate it. Shannon says, "What are we doing, Thrash?" Well, unfortunately, what happened was Ian was unable to do a show tonight. He's doing a show tomorrow. He's actually going to be interviewing Dave, which is super duper grouper, awesome sauce. I will have to work, but Ian C will be on tomorrow. But just to keep the slot going, I decided to come on tonight and have a commemorative chat. Holy, then let there be light, huh? Big Gus 45 says, "I'm here, as are we." Emily Miller is here, says, "Hey, I love surprises." And Emily, having you join us tonight is a great surprise. So glad you could make it. My flock is everywhere, says, "Epic." Big Gus 45 says, "Lynch, you never did go to my account. LOL. You forgot? LOL. I'm sure he did." Superlick says, "Hello, Emily." And Lynn says, "Yes, 45. I'm sorry." Superlick says, "Sound is great," which means the picture sucks. Well, I can only do so much with this visage. Kidding, kidding, kidding. Tug says, "I'm listening but getting ready to tuck in my son, so I might not chat for a bit." Quite all right. We'll press on without you. Shutting this says, "Picture and sound are fine, superlative." My flock says, "Hit that thumbs up and share, please," what she said. Darrell Jones says, "Bob, other brother Darrell, how are you doing? Mon ami, good to see you." Skipping Dubbing S45 says, "Still haven't seen you on my TikTok yet. I'm patient." I actually don't do TikTok. That's one of the subheadings I don't do. I told to my wife, I'll tell her again. I'll tell her again. Um, she is stuck doing so many things on TikTok, and she's working like I am. It's kind of a busy season, so I don't even know if she's been able to get on it lately. But anyway, I'll remind her because I am like that. My flock says, "Giggle." Emily says, "Sorry I missed y'all last night. Finished up the Lost in Space series. How was that? I hope you enjoyed it." We were just talking about that, how the original Lost in Space was one of my first exposures to science fiction. Big Guy says, "Lance Chafin, you should just do it now that you, oh, that way you don't forget." Let's just see what Evan Miller says. "I enjoyed it. Superplex. Loved how the ladies were a bit stronger this series. They'd almost have to be." Did I ever tell you I got you Lockhart's autograph on a Cape Court airport once? A Big Guys 45 says to Tracy Myers, "Are you on TikTok at all? Just curious." Is that Tracy? Oh, there. Yeah, she's here. Tracy Myers. I'm sorry, Tracy. I skipped right over you. I'm so sorry. Tracy Rose Myers says, "Hey, ya." Hello, Tracy. So great to have you here tonight. And then she was on to say, "Hey, all." And then, "Nope, guys." Tracy, while we're on the subject, on Facebook the other day, it was odd. Someone claiming to be your friend commented on a post I made. And when I thanked her for her comment, um, she like sent me a friend request and whatnot, even though I hadn't had any other exposure to her. Not. It sounded to me like one of those, not necessarily a scam, but Keith had a problem with that with me once, where someone claiming to be a friend of mine sent him a friend request, and I had no idea what this person was. Um, if it was a friend of yours, tell her I'm sorry that I thought she was a robot. If it wasn't a friend of yours, then I don't need to apologize, and do I? Sean Innes says the Netflix Lost in Space. I liked the first season, but it fell apart from there. So much potential. Isn't that always the case? They have a great season or two, goes off the rails, and well, here we are. Lance Javen says 45, sorry, I'm like Thrash. I don't do TikTok. Sorry, but 45. But good luck. Definitely good luck. Definitely good luck. Big Guy says, I'm only at 33 followers so far. LOL. We'll get you some more. We'll do what we can. We'll get you some more. I promise you. Emily Miller says, I liked it. Sean. John Bernstein says, I don't do Facebook, TikTok, or Twitter. Let's just see. Tracy Rothmeyer says, I don't know either, Robert. It was probably one of those, for want of a better word, a Trojan horse. They can make themselves appear as though you have mutual friends and you don't. Like I said, I didn't respond, but I was just picturing someone saying, "Oh, hey Tracy, yeah, I tried to make a friend of your Thrash Pondo friend, and he's a real asshole. He didn't even get back to me." I feel better now, Tracy. Emily says, "I'm on all social networks. You're just a social butterfly, aren't you, Emily?" Let's just see. Up to the most, Tracy says, "I don't solicit." Oh, no, I knew you didn't, but we all have mutual friends, and sometimes mutual friends try to become mutual friends of each other. Sometimes, though, they're people trying to sell diet pills. I remember early on, I figured someone just liked my post and wanted to follow me, so I accepted a friend request, and I started getting these ads for diet pills, which, granted, I probably could use, but as you say, I like don't solicit. Sean Innes says, I liked the lead and the actress, forget her name, that played the new Doctor character. Big Guy says, definitely, yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Zublik says, so what's the topic tonight? T-Pones, you said it was a secret. I haven't revealed the secret. Bobby Renee is here, says, hi, host. Hi to you, too. We seem to get a lot of mileage out of 60s TV shows the other day. So I don't know. I'm going to throw that out into the pyre. Today's trivia game is sort of a grab bag of movies and TV. So I don't know. You guys throw in a topic and we'll try to run with it. But a vintage TV or film is always something I am up for. John Bernstein says that means he can't tell you. Tracy says, I'm so sorry. Bobby Renee says, hello to Superplex. Les David says, Thrash. Can't wait till you get your shirt. I know, right? I'll start wearing it to my posts. Zuplik says, let it be on the outer limits so we can riff on the show and drive tug mod. Gary Carpenter says, hey there, everyone. I'm back. I'm Bach. And I'm Beethoven. John Brennan says, I lost 65 pounds by giving up chips and beer. That's an awful lot of chips and beer. Emily says, I can't give up chips and beer. I don't consume them now. Oh. It's so funny. There was a commercial not too long ago that said, could you be a vegan? At first, I'm like, yeah, right. And then it said, well, French fries are vegan, so's beer. And I go, I might be able to survive. I would have to get free beer and French fries for the rest of my life, which wouldn't be that long if that's all I was eating. Tug says, Super, just stick to season 1. I've already watched it. Sean Innes says, John, that's a lot of chips and beer. Nicely done. Zubuk says, two ladies back. Gary Carpenter says, good for you, John. John Brinton says, you don't understand, Lance. I gave up chips and beer. Oh, trust me, I get it. I get it. Tracy Meyer says, I don't do chips. You don't let the freeway highway. I blew it. Oh my god, I was California Highway Patrol. You saw where I was going, everyone. Gonzo out there is here. Never forget you are the Retro Reaper, my best pal. Gonzo was mentioning the Retro Reaper, and I just fell in love with the handle. I wish I had used it. It probably makes a lot more sense than Thrash Pondo Pawns, but I'm nostalgic, so I'm going to keep the Thrash Pondo Pawns. But if I developed the nickname Retro Reaper, I couldn't be too surprised. Emily says, I crave chips once in a blue moon. Gary Cameron says, Tracy, hi, I don't do beer, just wine. I like the occasional wine, particularly red wine. Zublik says, what's this chat needs is more cowbell. All our times have gone. Glenn Javen says, John, you will be all right. Emily says, yeah, cowbell, yes. Shannon says, Tracy, Punch will be devastated. Yeah, you know where I was going with this. Ted says, hello, all. Sorry for the creeping in the background and not engaging in all the fellowship. You know I love you all. Of course you do. You got to put your son to bed, by the way, particularly if he hasn't been feeling well. I hope he's on the mend, by the way. Tracy says, I like LOL, Sean. John Brenton says, I also gave up sugar soda. Is there any other kind? French fries, cracker and snacks, and now eat only twice a day. I lost 93 pounds during Slim Fast, where you only eat once a day. I had a meal of like boiled potatoes and low-fat hot dogs with no bread, just a hot dog. But I lost 93 pounds. I'm probably going to go on the diet sometime after I'm done with the computer course. One battle at a time, you might say. Zugul says, fortunately, T-Pawns is not Jessica Chastain. Yes, it is fortunate that I'm not her. So, what do you guys want to do as a topic tonight? Vintage TV, vintage film, sci-fi. What do you guys want to talk about while you're here? Feel free to throw it out. And Gary Governor says, JB, that means I be a lot bigger than you. Very few people are a lot bigger than me, though, so keep that in mind. And there was something I was going to say. Oh, one thing, by the way, it came up earlier, but just so you know, Ian C. isn't doing the show tonight for reasons not altogether clear. I think he had to work late tonight, but he is going to be doing an interview with Dave tomorrow. I have to work, but everyone please check it out. Tug says, as weird as it sounds, getting diagnosed with diabetes in my 30s was probably the best thing that could happen to me. Health-wise, got me to take better care of myself. Lost over 150 pounds. That's amazing. Zuberblick says, post-apocalyptic movies. That could actually give us some good base material for the upcoming show we have with Tug. So you know what? Tug, unless you think it would step on your toes, I say we get the ball rolling. It will give us some title. It might give us some titles to work with. Not that I need any more ammunition. So fine, post-apocalyptic films. It is. Unfortunately, my trivia isn't going to be based on that, but I'm an eclectic. Vintage TV works for Lance. Good, then you'll love the trivia game. Tug says, why you gotta try me, Zuper? Danny Skaten is here. He says, greetings from South Carolina. So glad you can make it, Dan. Not only is it because we absolutely love having you, and thank you in advance for the care package you sent me, but if you could drop some links for like Gonzo out there and Tug and House of Alex, it would be greatly appreciated. And anyone else who I may have missed. Gary Cabinet says 60s through 80s TV. Jenny says, better late than never. You're always right on time. Tug says, it's fine, actually, whet the appetite. Actually, I found impromptu chats. You know, every now and then someone mentions a post-apocalyptic film that I haven't seen. Believe it or not, there are some things I have not seen. So like these little dialogues, sometimes it gives us something like, hey, you know, we've never talked about that. Have you guys actually seen 2017? Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, was talking about it. I've actually watched it a few times. Actually, it's become like quite a little gem of mine. We can talk about that later, possibly on the Tug channel. But if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. And the House of Alex is here. He says, "Hey everyone," or it'd be more like, "Hey everyone, top of the morning to you. Best of luck to you. No worries. There's a good chat. Pip pip." I'm sorry, was that racist? I'm sorry, Alex. All done with love. Ziplik says, I rattle everyone's chain. The expression is cage. I rattled everyone's cage. I have no idea what you're talking about. Because it gives me jellies. Okay, I'm starting a little uncomfortable, Zubaplex. I'm just going to move on. Sean Innes says, that's true, Tug. I got diagnosed 2 years ago in my mid-50s. And my A1C has been better. I've been below 6 ever since. I have no idea what those letters and numbers mean, but it sounds good. I'm glad you're better. And John Burton says, no diabetes. I just got old. Then Chapin says, Damatiob. Damatiob? Whatever Damatiob means. Excellent. And Zublix says, hello there, the house. Jenny's been dropping links. Thank you, Danny. Zublix says, I am old. We're all a bit old. Emily says, I'm going to rattle chains when I come back to haunt you folks after I die. Oh, right in, I want to say Katuitt, right here on Cape Cod. A group of Wiccans had a little dance at the beach, by the way. My wife got it when, last time she was on TikTok. She just showed it to me. I thought you might find that interesting. If possible, I might be able to send you a link on Facebook. Tug says, excellent, Sean. Way to rock the A1C. Isn't that a steak sauce? Oh, and House of Alex is laughing. Thank you, House of Alex. And Zubik says, I thought you could do that today, Emily. And Tug says, Emily, why do you have to wait until you die? She knows how to say beats the alternative. Les Chapin says, you will haunt me. And Dan has given us another link. Great. Alex says, close enough on the vocabulary I use at Thrash. Thank you. Appreciated. Much appreciated. Emily Miller says, Tug, I got strange looks the last time I walked into the house rattling chains. Tracy Rosemeyer says, 6 is great. Oh, good. Thank you. I figured as much because everyone seemed to be slapping on the back. Shannon says, on the A1C, anything over 6.5 is type 2 territory. It's common for people to be above 12 when diagnosed. Yowza. Keith is here. He says, I'm here. That's how I knew you were here, Keith. Keith, so glad you could make it. Oh, and I got the message saying you got one of the shirts, by the way. Thank you. Very, very proud of you for both me and Dave. Very, very kind of you. Just skim down. Gary Cameron says, Thrasher, did you read my text from last night? I don't know. I had to work this morning. I replied to a few messages. Was it a reply on? Did you make a reply on last night's chat, or did you send me an email? I don't think I've checked my email today. Let me know where you sent the message, and I'll make sure to check it after the show tonight. Let's just see here. Cindy D says, hello, Lance. Hello, the House of Alex. Cindy D, very, very glad you could make it. Missed you last night, but we're very, very glad you're here tonight. Thank you. And she's saying hello to a lot of people saying hello to her. John Doe says, don't know if I'll stay, but hello, Thrash. John, know that you have a lot going on. You're very full plate as of late. Stay as long as you can. If you need to bail, it was very nice of you to pop in and say hi. Great to see you. Hope everything's working out for you. And that covers in case you do have to leave suddenly. Tug says, thanks to Keith, I've got the Love Boat song stuck in my head. But it's the tug vote. The tug vote. Soon we'll be making another ballot. I don't know. Keithy says, hello, everyone. I'm not good enough to say hello and hello individually. Everybody consider yourself helloed from Keith. Daryl Jones says, come on, guys, hit the like button, what he says. Cindy says, sorry, Thrash, I was at work. I believe I got the message. I believe someone. Well, if someone didn't tell me, I extrapolated, but I understand. Well, that's why I had to cut back on a little my live shows because I had to work. But I'm very glad you made it tonight. Just to let you know that we miss you. We don't see you. You were a cornerstone of our round channel. Tug says, hello to you, and you. You're the best. Very good. John Brendan says, I don't work. I'm on forced retirement now. I'm the one forcing it on me, but still. I would love to force myself to retire. No do re mi. I lack a demonia. Let's just see. Christopher Meyer says, Oi! Tugboat, lol. I like the tug vote. Rock the vote, don't rock the vote, baby. Rock the vote, don't skip the. Sorry. Zibble says, Are you good with retirement, John? I should hope so. Gary Cameron says, JB, I had to stop working too to take care of my father, and now I'm bored. John Doe says, Thresh, do you autograph your shirts upon request? I certainly would. I certainly would. I'm not sure how we would do that. You'd have to mail it to me, and I'd have to write on it with one of those gold pens. We'll work something out. We'll work something out. Oh, my cool dog is here. He says, bark, bark, like. And a zoinks to you, my cool dog. And drop a link, by the way, my cool dog, to yourself. And Don Brennan says, I got to bed to. Oh, I'm sorry. I go to bed to my computer, to kitchen, to bathroom, to bed, and get stoned all day long. Sounds like paradise. No, Tug says there's that dog again. Keithy says, John, your shirt is coming smeared with yogurt. And Dennis Dayton has given a link to my cool dog. Excellent, excellent. Because 45 says, Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? But So we're almost at 20. When we hit 20, oh, by the way, so everyone's opinion, everyone's personal opinion. Favorite post-apocalyptic movie? I will accept dystopian. Sometimes there's a very fine line between dystopian and post-apocalyptic. If you're not into that genre, any movie you could think of where the world went to shit. Preferably older vintage films. I know for a while Hollywood was cranking them out with The Day After Tomorrow and stuff like that. But I'm talking like old films. I'm talking like Logan's Run, Wizards, A Boy and His Dog, Things to Come, Planet of the Apes movies, zombie movies, that type of thing. And let's just see. Emma Miller goes, she's a cat person. John Bernstein said The Postman. The Postman's actually pretty good. I think we've had this conversation before. What killed The Postman in the box office was it came out after Waterworld, and Waterworld was not very good. I know it had its moment, it had some merits, but it was a bomb. So when The Postman came out, they go, "Oh, great, another Alec Baldwin post-apocalyptic film." No, thank you. Denny Staten says, "Mad freaking Max." A double plus good. That is sort of like there's before Mad Max and after Mad Max. I was already into the genre by the time I saw Mad Max, but Mad Max, just the right amount of action and drama and character interplay. Mad Max is a great, great film. And of course, as is The Road Warrior. Of the trilogy, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with Beyond Thunderdome. But I think the first two are superior. And I'm not knocking Tina Turner. I absolutely adore Tina Turner. I just felt like it wasn't as bad as the Godfather gap, where 1 and 2 are amazing and 3 is much, much not amazing. It's more like 1 and 2 are really, really good, and 3 is just sort of really good. Anyone agree? Disagree? John Doe says, ever thought of doing a mini meet and greet tour? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be great. No, definitely, that'd be great. Tug says it was wise for Scooby to stay out of HBO's Velma debacle. You know what? The whole Velma, I thought the Velma idea had merit. I didn't even watch it. It was like the whole thing just sort of blew up before he made a chance to see it. But I kind of like the premise. John Doe says The Walking Dead, very, very, very stand up. I thought it kind of went downhill last couple of seasons, but Walking Dead was very good. Lance Chabon said the Mad Max films, as we just discussed, or as I just mentioned. Oh, the Daily Beast is here. John Doe says Dead Man Walking. I thought that was a prison film. Oh, wow, holy cow. Oh, I got to go back to that. Gary Carpenter says, "You're Hunter from the Future." I don't think I've seen that film since I was in high school. Wow. Someone was just talking about that. Dark Corners. Any of you guys watch Dark Corners? They're great. But yeah, that works. Sort of similar to I Was a Teenage Caveman. Big guy, House of Alex says, thanks, Big Guys 45. I'll follow back. Lynn Stevens says, the dreaded Waterworld. John Bernstein says, Waterworld sucks. Shona says, Planet of the Apes, I loved it as a kid. I adored it as a kid. I still love it to this day. Lance Chavin said, Beastmaster. Beastmaster's very good. House of Alex says, I personally like the Mad Max films, including the most recent. Haven't seen the newest franchise, I will admit, just haven't seen it. But I will. Bob Renee says hi to the Beast. Zublik says Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin is a post-apocalyptic film. Ted says, I'm going to go with Planet of the Apes, either the first one or the last one. War, which is a masterpiece. Um, I'm going to have to see that before we do the show because I haven't. Something tells me I'm going to need to see that before I come to the table, shall we say. House of Alex says, and Planet of the Apes. It definitely, definitely. Oh, Weird City's here. Says, hey, Thrash, Weird City. So glad you could make it. You're just in time. We're going to start the trivia game in just a couple of minutes. Len Chafin said Blade Runner. Yes. Yeah, I love Blade Runner. Blade Runner, I read an article years ago about how Blade Runner is sort of the film of my generation. And there's a lot. I mean, the dystopian future doesn't really apply to us, but some of the social interaction and the alien alienation. um, but yes, definitely include Blade Runner in the original, of course. A lot of people saying hello to Weird City. John Burton says the book, The Postman by David Brin, is fantastic. I've heard the book was far superior to the film, but then it usually is. If any of you read The Road by Cormac McCarthy, it's actually one of the few cases where I thought the book and the film were equals. They did have to sand the movie down. There were a few things they did in the book which they just couldn't do. It was a little too intense. But The Road by Cormac McCarthy is outstanding, both in book and movie form. Lance Chavin said Soylent Green, definite. Although the debate goes on, is that one post-apocalyptic or dystopian? Because it's kind of on the cusp. John Dose's Battlefield Earth. If you're going to go with L. Ron Hubbard, and they've been talking about turning this into a movie for probably 40 years. L. Ron Hubbard wrote a book before World War II. It was written in the 30s. It's called Final Blackout. And what happens is World War II starts, and rather than a decisive victory for the Allies, it grinds on and causes a collapse of the global economy. So the world, particularly Europe, devolves into an almost medieval society, almost like something out of the 30 Years' War. And it's about this one group of soldiers that basically survive by living off the land, and their very clever leader, the lieutenant, who is sort of like Alexander the Great, who always comes up with some cunning plan to save the day. Great work. If you're going to go with L. Ron Hubbard. House of Alex says, good shout. Lance, how could I forget Blade Runner? What did everyone think of the sequel? I like the sequel. I didn't love the sequel as much as some people did, but I thought it was a solid sequel, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I jumped, so I'm going back because oh yeah, there we are. Oh, actually, no, that's not far enough. Uh, oh, Trader Rothmeyer says Mad Max, we definitely, and Fahrenheit 451. Love it, love it. Uh, I think I like the book better, but it's very, very good. Okay, I think I've gone back too far, so I'm going to try to catch up now. Um, Tug says, I think 1 and 3 are on the same level. It's Mad Max 2 that stands apart. One could make a valid case that I really like the first Mad Max. I really did. Um, just as a hero's journey. But if you want to make it's weird. It depends on where you want to put the fulcrum. If you want to put number 2 at the top instead of 1 and 2 at the top, it's a free country. John Burton says the Andromeda Strain. Excellent, excellent work. Tug says I couldn't get past the 10-minute mark. I thought the internet was exaggerating how bad Velma was, but oh wow. Oh, 420, 420 is here. Hello, 420. So glad you could make it. Leonard Chapin says 2001: A Space Odyssey. Is post-apocalyptic? Well, I'll let you make that case down the road. A lot of people saying hi to 420. Tug says, does the time machine count? The time machine counts if you go by the book. If you go by the movie, no, because the movie, ooh, he does go into the post-apocalyptic future, but he tries to save it. As we all know in the book, it doesn't quite work out. You know what? Heck with it. Yes, The Time Machine by George Pal does count. Cindy D says, "I Am Legend." Okay, Cindy, don't hate me. I love the novella by Richard Matheson. I like The Last Man on Earth by Vincent Price, and Omega Man even was pretty cool with Chuck Heston. I did not like the Will Smith I Am Legend. Don't hate me. The whole point is the vampires are intelligent and form a vampire society. Oh, spoiler by the way. So if you don't want me to ruin the Richard Matheson classic, stop listening now. In the Will Smith I Am Legend, you don't get that. So we don't really understand why he is a legend. Because the reason Neville is the legend is because in a world of monsters, humans are the monster. It's this wonderful duality. And the Will Smith version missed that. And it's sort of the crux of the whole movie. So I did not enjoy that one. Weird City says out of 420. John Doe says Dead Man Walking with Wings Hauser 1987. I think, oh, I'm thinking of a different Dead Man Walking. I don't think I've seen the one actually with Wings Hauser. Tracy says hi to all who I missed. Likewise, if I missed anyone, please forgive me. I'm a little backed up, and I'm trying to scroll through now. Emma Miller says Hell Comes to Frogtown. I loved Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's so deliciously silly. I saw it when I was in college for the first time when it was on one of those like USA Up all night shows. I thought Roddy Piper was amazing as the sort of wisecracking hero. I thought the frog people were ridiculously funny. It's a farce, but it's a wonderful farce. Yes, I love Hell Comes to Frogtown. Oh, and Danny's giving us a link. Thank you. John Burton says Omega Man was better. Thank you. Triple says, do you think the Time Machine was that good, Tug? I loved George Pal's Time Machine. Danny's giving us another. Oh, 420 says, great crowd. Thank you. Thank you. Danny says, has given us another link. Um, skipping down. Cindy D says the Terminator movies, definitely. I absolutely love the Terminator movies, particularly the second one, because I loved that scene of conflict. There was a talk that they were going to do an entire movie just of that, an entire movie of the war with Skynet. At the time, it was just way too expensive. They did it a little bit in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but it didn't have the same spirit. But yes, definitely the Terminator movies. Emily says On the Beach was good. The book was better, of course. Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. Um, Ava Gardner is a great actress, but she got that part literally because she was just a big star at the time. She did not work in that character at all. And it's a pity because that is sort of the crux of the whole film. I'm not saying I hated the film. I'm just like saying is I love the book a lot better. I read the book for school and then saw the movie. The movie's very very good, but I prefer the book. Let's see. Gary Carpenter says Z, which version, the old or one of the remake? I did not like the remake of the Time Machine. By the way, I wanted to. I really really wanted to like it. Just I don't know. They tried to make it into an action film, and while there's certainly room for action films in an H.G. Wells story, um, you need to have the sort of human interaction, which it lacked. Tug says you don't, Zuper. I'm talking the George Pell version, not the Guy Pearce one. Thank you. Bobby Renee says 420. No, we put in orders. Zuper says you said Alec Baldwin was in Waterworld and The Postman when you meant Kevin Costner. I did. Bite my tongue. Yes, of course. I definitely meant Kevin Costner. I don't even know why I was thinking Alec Baldwin. I was talking about Alec Baldwin earlier today. Someone and I were talking about it at work. Was talking about an Alec Baldwin movie. I might have Alec Baldwin stuck in my head. But thank you for correcting me, Zup. Lynn Stephen says AI, artificial intelligence. I liked it. As you guys know, it's based on a short story by Brian Wilson Aldiss, my favorite sci-fi author of all time. Has absolutely nothing to do with the short story, but I'm gonna count that one. Anything with a robot apocalypse works, which Brian Aldiss actually did also write about. 420 says, "LOL, we all need a little smoke sometimes. God knows I do." Let's just see. Sean Innes says, "I really liked Blade Runner 2, but now it's a deep appreciation for how it was made. Great cast. The road was so depressing, punishingly so. It's a very depressing film, and a little secret: the book is worse. The book is literally the most. It's almost disturbing. That's why when people say, "Can you recommend The Road?" I don't recommend it. I think it's excellent, and if you're a true buff and have a strong constitution, you could enjoy reading it. But I can't go around saying I recommend it. I'll put it this way: I'm another a sci-fi buff, one who likes really intense entertainment as I do. I recommended it to him, and he said he had to put it down. He couldn't finish it. He said it was too bleak and intense. And so that is, as they say, that. Tug says, I like the post apocalyptic part at the end of AI Lens. Most people don't, though. No, actually, I like that too, where it's almost like there's a whole little mini movie after the main movie, where it's sort of like the robots from the post robot apocalypse. Yeah, I thought that was slick, actually. The book says the Time Machine, the 1960s version, was good, but I don't regard it as a great film. I do. Time's gonna vanish for a bit. We'll be here when you return. Alex says Roddy Piper was you. I'm sorry, jumped. Eunice Darrell to Emily. I got it. I got it. Weird City says 2001: A Space Odyssey. My favorite sci-fi. Fantastic. Don't know if it counts as post-apocalyptic. It depends on how you interpret the end, but Les Javen says Thrash is buffering. Anybody else experiencing buffering? Let me know. Oh, Zuko says not at my end, Lance. Emily says, Alex, that was the only believable part of the movie. Gary Carpenter says, I caught it. Alex says, I'll have to give it a watch. Gerald John says, Logan's Run. I love Logan's Run. In fact, I saw it with my father about, oh dear. I was like 11. So, a long time ago. And he didn't care for it. And I thought it was great. But yeah, no, I thought it was slick. It was almost trying a little too hard to look futuristic. But I think once it gets into the meat and bones of the storyline, that whole scene with Box, sea greens from the sea, I thought that was really slick. 420 says Demolition Man was okay. As a comedy, I think it was better as an action comedy. Les Jamin says Judge Dredd. Weird City says Rutger was amazing in Blade Runner. Those visions are gone now. Like tears in the rain. Yes, very, very much so. Emma says, now I want to read The Road. Go ahead. Just keep a box of Kleenex and a bottle of scotch next to you. Cindy D says, The Book of Eli. That was a really, really slick one. I don't know if it... When I saw it, there was something... I don't know. There was something to it I felt it missed. And I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I thought it was really, really slick. Thought Denzel was great in it, by the way. It was almost like an old samurai movie, post-apocalyptic film with Alcatraz as a base. I mean, the film really had it all, which might have been it. When you put that much stuff together, sometimes it's hard to make it all click. But I thought Book of Eli was great. John Doe says, would you consider The Stand as post-apocalyptic? Don't care about King. I would definitely consider The Stand as post-apocalyptic. Definitely. And I thought the original miniseries was outstanding. I guess there's a new one I haven't seen yet, but the original one I thought was absolutely outstanding. Lance James says, yes, Cindy, good movie. And Melissa says, absolutely John. And I love King. I love King, too. I like his short stories. Although I wasn't crazy about the adaptation of The Mist. They kind of went off the rails on that. I'm not even sure why. They just had to change everything. Why don't you just do a story about something else? Texas, sorry, the wife beckoned. I must obey. More sympathetic I could not be. Mrs. Thrash is in the kitchen right now, stealing my pizza. I'm kidding. We went out to dinner tonight, a place called Jason's Tavern here on Cape Cod. She's eating her leftovers, presumably. Skittlebat. Alex says the end scene of Demolition Man was great for 2420. No one gets up after having their frozen head kicked off. No, I would tend to think not. Ooh, Liz Chapin says the Stepford Wives. Yeah, one could definitely make a case for that. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. And oh, hang on. And I'm skipping down. Emily says Stepford Wives wasn't post-apocalyptic. No, it's dystopian. It's this sort of movement of replacing people with robots and how that will definitely go awry. There was a sequel called Revenge of the Stepford Wives. You can probably guess how that went. Big Guy 45 says Idiocracy is amazing. LOL. Saw parts of it. Want to see the whole thing. I think they kind of borrowed the idea from A Canticle for Leibowitz, where people go through the phase where they all become simpletons. That's a stretch. I would have to actually see the movie before I could make a case for that. Somebody says, what man wouldn't want a robotic wife, Lance? They could be fembots until the robot revolution, and then where are you going to be? Tug says, no, you all misunderstood. I'm not leaving now. I was apologizing for disappearing for 10 minutes. I'm back now. Oh, no, I got it. When your wife beckoned, that's why you left. And you have now returned and have filled us in. I get it. And welcome back. Terrell Eugene Bellinger is here and says, hello again, Thrash. Thanks for following me on Facebook. Yes, Terrell Eugene Bellinger, I had no idea he was on Facebook. I was mentioning Facebook the other day, and He has become one of my Facebook followers, and I'm glad you caught that we had a show tonight, and I'm so glad you were here, Tim. Thank you. Um, I'm just gonna skim really quick. John Doe says, I like Dean Koontz. The Swan Song is way better than The Stand. I was so disappointed. I found Swan Song on audiobook on YouTube about 10 years ago. And about chapter, I don't know, because it's like that thick. Around chapter 6, they were all deleted. And I became inconsolable. I loved what I did get to read. Alex says, was Obey another Roddy Piper reference? Tug, yeah, that would I would guess definitely. Weird City says nothing because he just jumped off the page. Um, Here it is. The Rower was a great post-apocalyptic movie, clearly influenced by Mad Max. Great vibe. The Rover. I'm gonna just check it out sight unseen. Alex says, anyone watch the Walking Dead spinoff set on a submarine? We can't seem to get it here in the UK any good. I think that was part of it was called Stories of the Walking Dead or something like that. Um, if it's what I think it is, it was a one. There were like four separate stories. I haven't seen that one. Cindy D says Cyborg. Emily Miller says honestly, some of the best dystopian and post-apocalyptic movies have been in the last 20, in my opinion. Yes, I agree with you. I just I like to stick with vintage because it's my comfort zone. But no, you are definitely right. 420 says I read this for those saying idiocracy that when Mike Judge was making the movie, as he was disturbed because the extras loved it so much. Why make my film? I could make this. I see. Lynn Tibbins says good one. Lynn, Terrell, I see you're giving us. You know what? I'm going to do this one, but then afterwards I'm going to do my trivia game. Which of these NBC beloved shows from NBC's 80s Thursday night lineup do you prefer? Cosby Show, Family Ties, Cheers, Night Court, Hill Street Blues. Hill Street Blues, hands down. Favorite police procedural film of all time. I love Cheers, Night Court, Family Ties. I did love Cosby Show at the time, but Hill Street Blues, definitely. Emily says Get Out was better than The Stepford Wives. I will agree. A lot of people pick Cheers. Well, people pick Cheers. Alex says Get Out is a great film, in my opinion. Darrell Johnson says, please hit the like. Emily says Night Court for sure. I did love Night Court. A lot of people loving Get Out. Oh, Cherry 2000. I'd forgotten about that one. Cindy says, I usually don't like Van Damme, but I liked him in that one, Lance. Steel Dawn with Swayze. Yeah, that's a good one. Gary Gabbard says Time Cop. I'm just, Lance Gibbons says different wives make one, some assembly required. Keithy says Westworld, where nothing can go wrong, go wrong, go wrong, go wrong. Yeah, Westworld was a good one. Skipping down really quick here. Alex says, "What would everyone handheld weapon of choice be to survive a post-apocalyptic world? Handheld flamethrower." Well, Jimmy says, "Weird. The original was better. Haven't seen it." Charlie Eugene Bellinger says the Cosby Show is praised for its portrayal of an upper middle class African American family, though it hasn't really aged well due to the star's controversies in recent years. Couldn't have said it better myself. I love the show in the day. Unfortunately, I can't watch it now because Ted says, does Dune count as post-apocalyptic? I mean, it's thousands of years after the apocalypse. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. Cindy D says, I watched Dune on a high school field trip. Oh, that sounds like a fun field trip. Was it for the English class? Ted says, I'm way behind, by the way, watching at times 2 speed to catch up. Well, hopefully you're caught up now because, wow, we're down to 14 people. And I'm going to start the trivia game. And tonight's trivia game is actually a mixed bag of vintage film references and classic TV. And as always, I will start them in no particular order. Number 10. What movie star is killed off in the opening scene of Scream? Is it Alyssa Milano, B. Drew Barrymore, C. Alicia Silverstone, or D. Rose McGowan? I will repeat. What movie star is killed off in the opening scene of slasher Renaissance film Scream? A. Alyssa Milano, B. Drew Barrymore, C. Alicia Silverstone, or D. Rose McGowan? Tracy Rothmeyer says no idea. But a lot of people have it. Some people are guessing what other people might have guessed. I'm going to give it another minute. Oh, Emily Miller says, never watched it, but everybody's saying Drew. Yes, a couple people said Alyssa Milano, but yes, it was Drew Barrymore. In fact, funny story. I actually had a thing for Drew Barrymore when the film came out, and I heard she was in it. So I went to see the film just because I thought it was a Drew Barrymore movie, and she's killed in the opening scene. Something of a minor disappointment, but life went on. Number 9. Joaquin Phoenix played Roman Emperor Commodus in what 2000 epic? Was it A. Gladiator, B. I. Claudius, C. Clash of the Titans reboot, or D. Spartacus? And I'm not even going to bother to repeat that one because everyone. Actually, I will for people who didn't hear it. Joaquin Phoenix played Roman Emperor Commodus in what 2000 epic? A. Gladiator, B. I. Claudius, C. Clash of the Titans reboot, or D. Spartacus? Emily Miller says had to be Gladiator, and everyone else has said Gladiator. So you know what? Yes, it's Gladiator, and not the boxing Gladiator, the one with Russell Crowe with "At my signal, unleash hell." I saw the movie 3 times in the theaters. Moving forward, number 8. Who played Juror 8 in classic film 12 Angry Men? A. Henry Fonda, B. Jack Klugman, C. E.G. Marshall, or D. Jack Warden? I shall repeat. Who played juror number 8 in 12 Angry Men? A. Henry Fonda, B. Jack Klugman, C. E.G. Marshall, or D. Jack Warden? I'll give you a sec. A lot of you guys got it. I'm sure a lot of you guys guessed. For those of you who don't know, guess. I will confess, all 4 of them were actually in the movie. It's one of my favorite films. But think, who is the star of the movie? Oh, and while you're contemplating, I will give you an unrelated dad joke. Why did the mad cardiologist use hallucinogenic liqueur while trying to reconstitute the star of the film Easy Rider? Because absinthe makes the heart grow fonda. And that's a hint. Get it? Absinthe makes the heart grow fonda. All right, I'll give it up. A. Henry Fonda. Number 7. Oh, here's another who played. Number 7. Who played the unsinkable Molly Brown in the film Titanic? A. Candice Bergen. B. Molly Ringwald. C. Roseanne Barr. Or Ted, that was very well anticipated. D. Kathy Bates. I shall repeat. Who played the unsinkable Molly Brown in the film Titanic? A. Candice Bergen, B. Molly Ringwald, C. Roseanne Barr, or D. Kathy Bates? I'll give you guys a second. You guys want to do scores after the top five? Why don't we do scores after the top five? And anyway, yes, it's D. Kathy Bates. Gary Carpenter, ouch. Oh, and Gary, while we're at it, again, that message you sent me, was that in an email form on my channel, or was it a reply to one of my posts? I'm guessing if it was a reply to the post, it was one from yesterday. But I will double look see. Like I said, I was kind of a little overscheduled this morning, so I kind of flew through a lot of stuff. Les Jamin says, "Love Misery." Cindy, how can you be 5 for 5? We haven't gotten to the halfway point. This is question 6, which would be the 5th question. So question 6, which will give us the halfway point. What 1994 crime film revitalized John Travolta's career? Was it Look Who's Talking 2, B, The Shawshank Redemption, C, Pulp Fiction, or D, Michael? Oh, hey, Fat Comic Book Guy. Welcome to the party. I shall repeat. What 1994 crime film revitalized John Travolta's film career? A, Look Who's Talking 2, B, The Shawshank Redemption, C, and yes, you all got it, Pulp Fiction, or D, Michael. And now, Cindy, you are 5 for 5. Yes, if you want to give me scores. I will now accept them. Shannon is like, okay, now I'm 5 for 5. Alex is 4 for 5. Suplex is 4 for 5. Emma Miller says Michael was good, though. I love the film Michael. I actually brought this Thrash to see it. Cindy says, okay, Thrash, LOL. Yes, you're 5 for 5. That'll be no. Terry Myers is 2 for 5. Gary Carpenter is 5 for 5. 420 is 3 of 5. You guys hear that? There's like a Canadian geese on my deck. A Canadian geese? Canadian goose. Canadian geeses. Tab is 5 for 5. Suplex is nope. Oh, come on. You must have gotten some of these, right? Zuber, you already gave me the score. You're 4 for 5. Why are you now a nope? Keith E is 2 of 5. And let's see, is that scores? Okay. So I will move on to now question 5. And this the last half are TV. Steve, Life of Editing is here. Is this a replay? Oh no, this is live. I'm not Memorex. Oh, Gary Cameron says buffering again. I'm so sorry. Ziplik says not hearing Canadian geese. Must not even pick up on the mic. Liz James says, Steve, this is live. Ziplik says no life. That sounded creepy. And a lot of people saying hi to Steve. But Steve, you're more than welcome to play the last half of the trivia game. It's going to be random TV trivia. Shannon says, I heard no geese. Oh, you heard the geese. Oh, excellent. Alex says, I'm hearing the geese, the gooses. Emma says it's because we don't talk Canadian. Well, it depends on what part. Cindy says good eats. Yes, geese are good eats. But I believe they're protected here for some reason. Although we get poachers here. Believe it or not, we actually get poachers going after the ducks and whatnot. But moving forward. Question 5. What was Beaver Cleaver's real first name? A. Albert, B. Theodore, C. Alvin, or D. Simon? I shall repeat. What was Beaver Cleaver's real name? A. Albert, B. Theodore, C. Alvin, and D. Simon. And apparently you're all getting it. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Oh, did you notice what I did there? Alvin, Simon, Theodore. But yes, you guys are all getting, yes, it's B. Theodore. I believe the father calls him that periodically, if I remember correctly. Okay, number 4. This is one of my favorites. Number 4. What insult did Fred Sanford frequently call his son? Was it A. Meathead, B. Moron, C. Dingbat, Or you can at least wait till I read all the selections before you go ahead and answer it. D, dummy. And you know what? I'm still going to repeat, but Mrs. Thrash in the background going, D. I'm still going to repeat the question for you guys because that's how fair I am. What insult did Fred Sanford frequently call his son? Was it A, meathead, B, moron, C, dingbat, or, and she's nodding her head again, D, dummy? Lance James is like, you big dummy. Yes. And you guys all got it. Yes, it was D, dummy. Number 3. In Apocalypse Now. Oh, I thought this was television. Oh, well. Apocalypse Now has been aired on television. In Apocalypse Now, Robert Duvall loves the smell of what in the morning? Wait for it. A, Folgers. She's laughing in the background. B, Jack Daniels. C, silence. Or D, napalm. I shall repeat. In Apocalypse Now, Robert Duvall loves the smell of what in the morning? A, Folgers. B, Jack Daniels. C, silence. Or D, napalm. And yes, you guys all got it. Okay, let's just, I mean, who doesn't? Yes, napalm. Yes. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. Oh, a trivia question. What's the next line he says after that? Someday, this war is going to end. And then he just gets up and walks off. That's it. Number 2. What does Michael eat for lunch, which causes him to fall asleep in the office? Is it A, a poisoned apple, B, Narcanol croquettes, C, NyQuil dogs, or D, chicken pot pie? Oh, and Steve's doing Surf's Up, which is another reference to Apocalypse Now. Charlie Don't Surf. I shall repeat the question. In the TV series The Office, what does Michael eat for lunch which causes him to fall asleep? A, a poison apple, B, Narcanol croquettes, C, NyQuil dogs, or D, a chicken pot pie? Da-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-dun, bop-bop-bop, bop-bop-bop, bop-bop. Chicken pot pie. Bop-bop-bop, bop-bop-bop, bop-bop, bop-bop-bop, bop-bop-bop, bop-bop. And the number one question I got is, what Roseanne star went on to do the TV medical comedy series Scrubs? Was it A, Sarah Chalk, B, Sarah Gilbert, C, Melissa Gilbert, or D, Gilbert Godfrey? I shall repeat. What Roseanne star went on to do the medical comedy series Scrubs? A, Sarah Chalk, B, Sarah Gilbert, C, Melissa Gilbert, or D, Gilbert Godfrey? Well, a lot of you got it, and I think a lot of you are answering cute answers, which is fine by me, by the way. But yes, it was A, Sarah Chalk, and I think I'm mispronouncing the young lady's last name. But yes, she played the oldest daughter, Becky, in Roseanne, and then went on to do Scrubs. And most recently, as I'm sure most of you know, she does the voice of Rick's daughter in Rick and Morty. That is to say, Morty's mother, Beth Sanchez. And I think she does an outstanding job. She has a lot of inflection. She does good voice work. But that is, as they say, that. Okay, missing scores. Tracy Myers, 7 of 10. Ted is 10 for 10. Alex is 8 for 10. Weird City is 6 of 10. Suplex, 8 for 10. Shotgun says, woo, guess the last two, but I got 10 for 10. Hey, put in the win column, move forward. Gary Carpenter is 10 for 10. House of Alex says, that's a hell of a career. It certainly was. Keithy is 5 for 10. Good, good. That 5 for 10 is good. Cindy D is 10 for 10. That's excellent. Trader Myers says, good job, Sean. Weird City said, would have been 5, but I stole Steve's pot pie. Okay, everybody, just you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but just yes or no. How many of you have, when you're on the fence to an answer, you very conveniently drag your feet and wait to get in and see what the first couple people in front of you do? I must confess, when I'm on Dave's channel, I have been known to do that. I have, oh, it's A or B or B or B, and it's A. I'm going to go with A. Sometimes I've done that, and I've gotten the answer wrong. So, so I guess cheaters don't prosper after all. So Blick says never. Keithy says Idaho. Are you living your own private Idaho? You're living in your own private Idaho. Your Steve says never. Um, John Doe says I say graboids. Graboids? Graboids. Okay, I'll say graboids too. Weird City says yes, I confess. Don't worry, you're not a thought criminal. Gerald John says the smell. You know that that gasoline smell? Oh yes, of napalm. You know, I had a friend who actually made napalm in his sink, and I'm not making that up. I forget how he did it. He used gasoline and flour and something else, and well, his parents got a new kitchen. Cindy D says the process of elimination thrash. That's another one. That's why I get a little sneaky with the question for 12 Angry Men. All four of them were in the film. Usually, only two of them will be in like the film or TV show, so you can eliminate the others. But yeah, I deliberately made it so that all four of them were in the film. Emily says, I try not to do that, but I'm sure we've all done it without thinking. Great Third Mine says, I cover the answers when Dave is on because I don't want to see the answers because I have a delay when I see his videos or his lives. That's very sporting of you. Keithy says, I can't read it in sheets, so I'm usually pretty good. Very proud of you. Joe John says, the whole hill smelled like victory. Someday this war is going to end. Yes, someday this war is going to end. Shannon says, I usually die at some point. 8M of tonight's questions were easy for me. Good, good, good. Yeah, I found uh, a games book when I went to the Dollar Tree today, and I knew there'd be some good stuff in it. Ted says, which of these beloved '80s John Hughes films do you prefer better? 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Pretty in Pink, or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? They're all great. I would have a tough time putting them in order. Um, Probably. If I had to put them in some kind of order, I would go Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Weird Science, and then the rest is going to be kind of tied. Alex says, isn't the something you make with orange juice? Might even be napalm. That sounds familiar. I try to keep the Anarchist Cookbook around anymore. It can get you into trouble. Ivan Sending says D. A lot of people like Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club 2, and Pretty in Pink. Those are all good. Oh, Twitter with Myers says Clockwork Orange is my favorite all-time movie. Really? Your favorite all-time movie, like across the board of all genres? That's definitely a dystopian film. That's definitely a dystopian film, and I really do like it. And you know what? I can almost guarantee that film will come up on Tug's show because I have some real, I can't call them fun facts, but some interesting side notes about Clockwork Orange. And how can you not love Malcolm McDowell? Let's see what else is going on. Oh, KD says planes, trains, and automobiles because they look like John Candy. Weird Science. Weird City says Weird Science is hilarious. You guys know I hung out with Ian Mitchell Black once. I was actually in college. This is many, many, many years ago. And he, of course, is from Massachusetts. And he was either friends or dating a girl. Both. I don't know who went to college with me, but the friends from his hometown. And he'd come up for a visit, and she had convinced him to come to my college town to hang out. And um, I managed to get invited to this house party, and it was like maybe like only about a dozen of us there. It was a minor soiree, and it was so funny because I go, you know what? When he walks in, I'm going to offer him a beer. And he walked in. I had the beer in my hand ready to offer it to him, and I was like, oh hey, look who's here. And I go, hey, would you care for a beer? And he was wearing a duster jacket, and he just reaches into his pocket and is like, no thanks, I got one. And I'm like, that's slick. um, but that's my weird science story. And I think while I was pontificating, I missed a few people. Don't hold it against me. Um, Treasure Myers says Michael McDowell was hot. I had a huge crush on him. Not really my type, but I can certainly see that. Shannon says there is that line in Fight Club about equal parts making napalm. Frozen juice concentrate being an ingredient. There's a bell ringing in my head. Nick Evans says he's gone. The wife called him. Lance Chafin. I'm sorry, Cindy D says LOL. Lance Chafin. Emily Murray says apparently Napalm has OJ 151 and Jägermeister. Wow, that sounds like a really cool drink you might get on the Caribbean beach. Tim says, which of these beloved actors do you prefer better? Michael Ironside, I already love him. Kurtwood Smith, Danny Trejo, Stephen Root, Sam McMurray, Stephen Tobolsky. Michael Ironside, I've been a fan of his since I saw him in that 3D sci-fi movie, The Destruction of Jared Sin, I want to say, but he was absolutely outstanding in V. And I'm going to go with as my next choice, Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo is just amazing in anything you see him in. Lynn Chapin says class of 1999. There we go. Lynn Chapin says Ian Mitchell. I said Ian Michael Smith, didn't I? I'm sorry. Ian Mitchell Smith. I'm sorry. I met the person over 30 years ago. And Garrett Evans says, and that's a cocktail for Godzilla. Zublik says Kurtwood Smith. What was he in? Name something that he was in, by the way, because it sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Levin said Michael York was Jesus of Nazareth, so he can't be all bad. I'll grant you that. Alex says, oh, yeah, that's where I heard it. Gotcha. And Denny, thank you for giving us more links. Trader of Meyer says nothing good comes from Jägermeister. Never acquired a taste for Jägermeister. To me, it tastes like that thick, heavy licorice. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather used to love that. Ken Wilkinson is here. Says, good evening, Bob. Mr. Wilkinson, so glad you could make it. Thank you. We're just about to wrap things up, but I'm very glad you could make it tonight. Emily says, Gary, I would order it myself. I wouldn't try it, but I'll try anything once. So I've heard. Shannon says Stephen Root or Michael Irons. Oh, I see. That was it. Or Michael Ironside would be my first two choices. Shannon says RoboCop, that 70s show. Oh, thank you. Yeah, he's very good. I've seen him in other things, by the way. Thank you. Click. Emily says Red Foreman. Thank you. This book tells that 70s show. Charlie Eugene Builder says Kurtwood Smith was Red Foreman, that 70s show, and Clarence Boddicker in RoboCop. He did. There was some other show he did where he played a cop serial killer, and I can't remember what it was, but I saw him. He was a serial killer and a cop. It was crazy. He says hi. A hungry. Oh, jerk and baked beans. Thank you for reminding me. Tom the Hungry Jerk and Baked Beans weren't able to make it tonight, but shout outs to both of them. I know you guys are going to watch this on replay. We missed you tonight, but I'm sure we'll see you in replay. And please leave a comment, and I will respond to said comment. And Keith, Thank you for your altruism. Very, very kind of you. Alex says Jägermeister and a Red Bull was a staple of my younger days. That was a really, really common club drink many years ago. Dennis Kitten says, just to be Michael Ironside was not a cop in a wheelchair. LOL. Alex says he was in a Star Trek movie. Alex says, or should I say, my drinking days, which was a while back. Shannon says, oh, all of those character actors are awesome. There is no wrong answer. Excellent way of putting it. Tracy Romero says, gotta get moving along. Have a nice night. You as well, Tracy. So glad you could stop by tonight. Everyone say goodnight to Tracy. Bedbugs Bite. And so, any last minute comments or questions while we're wrapping things up? We're going to do about another 10 minutes. Oh, Teb says, I got to go now. Have a great night. Yeah, Teb. Hey, thanks for your input as always. I love those little sort of trigger comments you give, topics of conversation, icebreakers. Although usually those would be at the beginning, you kind of interspersed them, which is great. Keeping the conversation lively. Thank you very much. You take care. We'll see you real soon. John Dose is going to recharge. Until next time, keep rolling. Hey, John, it was very nice. I remember you said you didn't know if you wanted to stick tonight. You did, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Lance Chapman says, night, guys. See you next time. House of Alex says, this was great. Really enjoyed it. Gary Cameron says, good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. And it seems like more and more people are sort of wrapping things up. So perhaps, hey, we should, Cindy says, good night, Lance. Perhaps, we should sort of put a pin in it here. Don't want to cut it short, but it seems like a logical time to sort of wrap things up. 420 says, thank you for the live. Oh, yeah, Alex's bedtime for me. It's like 1, 2 in the morning his time. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming and joining me. If you had half as much fun as I had, then I had twice as much fun as you. If you think of anything else, jot it down or put it in the comments section, and we will add it to my next show, which is looking like it will probably be next Sunday at this point. But until then, you guys be good, be safe, be careful, take care, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.